So is that everything you hoped for?
Jury's still out. But man, can't deny that view.
Come on, this way. Hey, let's pick it up.
The Last of Us is an unmitigated masterpiece, easily one of the best of all time, and the PlayStation 4 port, The Last of Us Remastered, is just as amazing. There may not be any new content in this update, but it retains the PS3 version's heart and soul, while adding a few notable bells and whistles that help refine the experience even further. The difference between the original and remastered isn't mind-blowing by any stretch of the imagination, but you can definitely tell the difference. The Last of Us pushed the PlayStation 3 to its absolute limits, but on the PlayStation 4, it goes far beyond them. What's most noticeable is that The Last of Us on PlayStation 4 runs at 60 frames per second, double the rate of the PlayStation 3 version. I have to admit, I found this a bit jarring at first, but I quickly acclimated to it and now prefer the smoothness of the action. I recommend using the menu option to switch back and forth between 30 and 60 to really see how different it is. Interestingly, some people here at IGN do prefer the 30 frame setting, however. Likewise, the PS4's vastly expanded resolution and texture memory makes a huge difference. It seems that no matter where you set your eyes, characters and objects are a bit clearer and pop just a bit more. Everything has a smoother, better lit look. It's funny because The Last of Us Remastered is an upscaled port of a PlayStation 3 game, and it's now arguably the best looking thing you can play on your PlayStation 4. That says a lot. Naughty Dog appears to know this too, and seemingly takes a victory lap by inviting us to enjoy these impressive graphics in a unique way with an all-new photo mode, which lets you take in-game pictures with a detached camera. I love how Naughty Dog took the name literally and added a ton of camera lenses and view options, among other things. We all expected it to look pretty, but an added bonus is that gameplay is enhanced by The Last of Us Remastered's frame rate. Combat is smoother and more fluid, assisted by the same silky frame rate we see in games like Call of Duty. And while Naughty Dog fully acknowledged the shortcomings of the DualShock 3's triggers the first time around by mapping shooting and aiming to L1 and R1, Remastered takes advantage of the DualShock 4's concave triggers by reverting to the R2 and L2 buttons. And I love using the meaty center button to bring up the backpack in a jiffy. But that's just by default, so if your muscle memory is too strong to change, you can revert to the old settings if you like. The Last of Us' addictive online play is also retained and expanded upon in Remastered, not only because of its frame rate, which leads to better gunplay, but because of its inclusion of so much of the original's DLC. There are a ton of maps and a handful of exciting modes to mess around with when online. Likewise, The Last of Us' superb single-player DLC, Left Behind, is also included. Just make sure you clear about 50 gigs on your PS4 because The Last of Us Remastered moves in with a sizable mandatory installation. The Last of Us Remastered on PlayStation 4 is, like the PlayStation 3 original, a masterpiece. Naughty Dog put game developers everywhere on notice with what it accomplished with The Last of Us, and playing it again is a good reminder of that even a year or so after it originally came out. Whether you experienced it already on PlayStation 3 or have never played it at all, The Last of Us Remastered is very much worth your time, money, and admiration. For more about the story, the world, the characters, and the brutal stealth action gameplay that make The Last of Us the best PlayStation game I've ever played, make sure to check out my original review on IGN, plus our extensive guides and wikis.
Look how dark it is. Can't be any worse out there. Can it?